Hello, folks. Tomorrow, December 8th, is Rohatsu. And Rohatsu is a holiday? I don't know. It's not really a holiday usually. I don't remember any ever getting the day off when I was in Japan, but it's a day when Buddhists celebrate the Enlightenment Day of the Buddha. And just like the birthday of Christ, nobody knows exactly what day Buddha was enlightened. It was 500 years before Jesus was born. So someone pegged the date at December 8th a long time ago, but there are different dates given in different traditions. In the Zen tradition, it tends to be December 8th. And what tends to happen in the Zen tradition is a sesshin, a 7-day sitting where you sit all day for 7 days, and the seventh day is Rohatsu, and then I don't know what you do. Because my teacher wasn't really into doing these sorts of celebrations, neither of my teachers. So he didn't do Rohatsu. I never sat a Rohatsu sesshin, but we did sit a 1-day Rohatsu celebration a couple of days ago at the Angel City Zen Center, a little bit before, but we wanted to do it on a Saturday because people tend to show up more on Saturdays. Anyway, here's what I read there a couple of days ago, and I'm going to read it to you here. This is from not this book, Transmitting the Light. It's essentially the same thing that you'll find in this book. It is a piece of writing. I was going to say book, but it's not really a book. It's a piece of writing by a guy named Keizan, who was the fourth Dharma heir of Dogen. So it went Dogen, Eijo, Gikan, Keizan. And Keizan is usually credited as the guy who made Soto Zen Buddhism popular in Japan. Dogen kind of started it off. I mean, he did start it off in Japan. And Eijo and Gikan didn't do much to make it popular, but Keizan got out there and made it a thing. So one of his main legacies is this book called Transmitting the Light, in which he recounts the enlightenment stories of every Buddhist ancestor up until Dogen, I think. Does it stop at Dogen? Stops at Eijo. What do you know? Learn something new every day. So this version I'm going to read is from the Soto Shumucho's website. That's the people who claim to be the, true keepers of Ziggy's going crazy, of Dogen's legacy in Japan. And notice that they put a big this is copyrighted by Soto Shumucho, don't copy it. So whatever you do, don't commit it to memory. Don't use the transcript function on YouTube to copy it or anything like that. But you can go on Soto Shumucho website and look at it and download it if you want to, just like I did. So here's the story of Buddha's enlightenment as told by Keizan. Shakyamuni Buddha saw the morning star, awakened to the way, and said, I, together with the great earth and sentient beings, simultaneously attain the way. That's what he said. Well, we don't know if he really said that. In fact, he probably didn't say that, because this version of what Buddha said after he got enlightened is not original to Keizan, but the source he got it from does not go all the way back to the Buddha's time. It goes back, I don't really know, a few hundred years before Keizan, but not all the way back to Buddha's time. So there you go. He probably didn't say it. Just like those memes. And here's what else Keizan says. Shakyamuni Buddha belonged to the Surya Vansa, see, because of this watermark, I can't really read that word, clan in Western lands, that means India. At 19 years of age, he leapt over the palace walls at midnight, then cut off his hair on Dandaka mountain. Thereafter, he practiced austerities for 6 years. Then he sat on the Vajra seat. Vajra means diamond, but I don't think it was really made out of diamonds. I think it was a rock. He sat on the Vajra seat as spiderwebs formed between his eyebrows and a magpie's nest rested atop his head. Must have been goofy looking. And reeds sprouted up through his seat. Peacefully abiding without moving for 6 more years, he sat erect. That's a long time. On the 8th day of the last month of his 30th year, when the morning star emerged, he suddenly awakened to the way, and his very first lion's roar consisted of these words, which are the ones I just read to you. After that, for 49 years, he, Shakyamuni, did not dwell alone for a single day, and there was not even a short time when he did not preach the Dharma for the congregation. He was never without one robe and one bowl. At more than 360 assemblies, from time to time, he preached the Dharma. In the end, he entrusted the treasury of the true Dharma Eye to Mahakashapa, that's his sort of second in command, and it has been disseminated down to the present. Okay. Indeed, it has been transmitted to the three countries, India, China, and Japan, and Korea as well, and Thailand, and some other places, where it has been used to form the basis for cultivating the true Dharma. Actually, in the original, because they printed the original up here, it just says Sankoku, three countries. It doesn't say India, China, and Japan. So, translator added that. T. Griffith Folk, I think, is the translator. His, Shakyamuni's, bearing during that lifetime became the standard for his bereaved disciples. Although he was fully equipped with the 32 marks and 8 pleasing features, that just means he was good-looking, he always took the appearance of an old bhikshu, no different from other people. Thus, ever since his time in the world, throughout the 3 periods of time, true semblance and enfeebled Dharma, they believe that the Dharma would go through 3 stages, which were, as is listed here, what does it say? True, where everything's the real Dharma, it's Buddha's lifetime, and then a few hundred years after. Semblance is like, it's sort of fake Dharma, and enfeebled is nowadays when it's enfeebled. Nowadays also means the time when this was written. They thought that they lived in the time of the enfeebled Dharma. Dogen didn't buy that, but Keizan mentions it. I don't know what that means. Those who admire his proper manner have adopted the Buddha's appearance and deportment, received and used what the Buddha received and used, and whether walking, standing, sitting, or reclining, never ceased to give priority to their own selves for even the shortest period of time. And giving priority to their own selves doesn't mean they were selfish and like, oh, I'm taking priority for myself. It means they gave priority to studying the self, studying the nature, self-nature, which is what we do in the Zen tradition. Okay. What this episode clearly indicates is that the true Dharma has come down to us through the individual transmission from Buddha to Buddha and ancestor to ancestor without ever being cut off. Although what he preached differed over 49 years and more than 360 assemblies, the various episodes and parables he told do not go beyond this principle. And the footnote, do not go beyond this principle, says, the expression this principle refers to the treasury of the true Dharma eye, which is Shobo Genzo in Japanese, treasury of true Dharma eye, that was entrusted to Mahakashapa and individually transmitted down through the Chan Zen lineage of ancestral teachers. The claim is that the variety of verbal sermons, sutras, preached by the Buddha do not surpass or contain any more wisdom than that, what he transmitted to Mahakashapa. Now, here is Keizan's commentary on this. He says, the I, spoken of here, I meaning the letter I, me, I, not the I. When the Buddha says, I together with the great earth and sentient beings simultaneously attain the way. Okay, that's what he's talking about. The I spoken of here is not Shakyamuni Buddha. Shakyamuni Buddha, too, was born from this I. So Shakyamuni Buddha is just part of the I that makes this statement, the me that makes this statement, the self that makes this statement. And it was not only Shakyamuni Buddha who was born, the great earth and sentient beings too were all born from this. And that's another way of saying what Kosho Uchiyama says, and Shohaku Okumura says, and what's his name, Dainin Katagiri says, and which I think I've mentioned on this channel, and Dogen says as well, the idea that we are born, I am born with the earth. So it's not that the earth and the universe and things are existing before I'm born, I am born with the universe. That's probably a whole video on that one. Did I do that one? I don't remember. Maybe I did. But that's kind of what they're saying there. Shakyamuni was born, and the great earth and sentient beings were all born from this I, from this self. When one lifts up a great net, all of its pieces are lifted up together. In like manner, when Shakyamuni Buddha attained the way, the great earth and sentient beings also attained the way. Now, this is something, I think somebody on this channel or my blog or somewhere got all upset about this once a year or 2 or 3 or 7 years ago. If Buddha was enlightened with all the beings, then how come I didn't know about it? There's another video for that question. And it was not only the great earth and sentient beings who attained the way, the Buddhas of the 3 times too all attained the way. So all at the same time, that's what they're saying. Although this is so, Shakyamuni himself formed no thought of attaining the way, which may be a kind of a reference to the Diamond Sutra, because the Diamond Sutra says a lot of stuff like that. Do not regard Shakyamuni Buddha as apart from the great earth and sentient beings. That's how he was born with them, because he is not apart from them. Even though mountains and rivers and the great earth, all the myriad interconnected phenomena, are like a dense forest, none avoid being within Gautama's eyes. And the footnote here says, Let's see. Because Gautama's eyes, Genzai, represent the Buddha's awakening, to be within those eyes means to exist within the Buddha mind or Buddha nature, understood here as some kind of universal ground of being. Probably close enough. All of you people are also standing within Gautama's eyes. That's you. And it is not only you that are standing within Gautama's eyes. They have been replaced by all of you here. You have become the lumps of flesh that are Gautama's eyes. And the lumps of flesh is nikudansu, which is another word for meatball in Japanese. So you are the meatballs that are Gautama's eyes. And each and every person's entire body, one by one, is a cliff rising 10,000 fathoms. So you're all really big. But do not think on that account that through past and through present those are exalted people with perfectly clear eyes. Yeah, don't think those other people have clear eyes. You people are identical with Gautama's eyes, and Gautama is identical with the entire body of each of you. Big statement there. If so, what will you call the principle that underlies attainment of the way? Well, monks of the Great Assembly, is it that Gautama attains the way together with you people, or is it that you people attain the way together with Gautama? If you say that you attain the way together with Gautama, or if you say that Gautama attains the way together with you, then that is not at all Gautama's attainment of the way. Accordingly, it cannot be regarded as the principle that underlies attainment of the way. If you wish to intimately understand the principle of attaining the way, then you must simultaneously brush away Gautama and you people, and quickly understand what I represents, I being the I in that statement that Buddha made when he became enlightened. The together with, also going back to that statement, of I is the great earth and sentient beings, but the I of together with is not the old guy Gautama. I like the way he says old guy, this translator Griffith Folk. You must examine this in detail, consider it in detail, clarify I, and understand together with. Even if you clarify I, if you do not clarify together with, then you will lose the one I. So make sure you clarify both of those. While this is so, I and together with are not one thing, nor are they two different things. Truly, the skin, flesh, bones, and marrow of you all are entirely together with. The Lord Master within the house, that is the I. And that's a weird sentence. It just sort of hangs there. I guess you're supposed to pronounce it, the Lord Master within the house, that is the I. Okay, let's try it that way. That makes sense. It does not involve skin, flesh, bones, and marrow, nor does it involve the four primary elements or the five aggregates. Those are skin, flesh, bones, and marrow are levels of enlightenment, and there's a whole story about that, and Dogen tells it, and it's long. And the five aggregates are what a human is made of: form, feeling, perceptions, impulses, consciousness. Five, count them. To sum the matter up in words, if you wish to recognize the undying person within the hermitage, how could you possibly do so apart from this present bag of skin? That's a quote from an old Zen poem, and I don't know, we should probably go into that, but that's what that is. This being so, you should not form an understanding of the great earth and sentient beings, so don't try to figure it out. Although spring, summer, autumn, and winter each come in turn, and the mountains and rivers and great earth change together with time, we know from old Guy Gautama's raising the eyebrow and blinking the eyes, that's when he made his Mahakashapa his successor, that amidst the myriad phenomenon there is a solitary exposed body. There is a Zen saying, would that expunge the myriad phenomenon or not expunge the myriad phenomenon? I don't like the word expunge, so erase or get rid of. Fayan said, what expunging or not expunging could one possibly talk about? And Daizhang said, what could you possibly be calling myriad phenomena? So two Zen masters commented on that. Thus you should investigate horizontally and investigate vertically until with 7 penetrations and 8 masteries you clarify Gautama's place of awakening and understand attainment of the way by your own self. By your own self. Attain it. Figure it out. Having been able to see such a koan, a story, a puzzle, in detail, on the next day that we hold a request for edification, one by one you must explain the principle with appended words produced from within your own breasts, not words borrowed from previous Buddhas or present people. This mountain monk, that's Keizan referring to himself, also thinks he will try to attach some humble words to this single case. People, do you wish to hear them? I guess you do, because here they go. A single twig sprouts from the old plum tree. Thorns and brambles as time goes by encroach on it. The end. That is what he says, and that has been a long video, so I'm going to leave it there and either pick up on it tomorrow or not pick up on it tomorrow, but this video has already gone on too long. I thought you might be interested in hearing the story of Gautama's enlightenment on the day or the day before, which celebrated his enlightenment. Okay, good. All right, if you want to support me saying more things, you can send a donation to the address you're seeing on the screen. That is the only way I'm making my living right now. If you don't have a lot of money and stuff, don't worry about it. You don't have to support me like I'm desperate. I'm not desperate, and I'm not desperate because you folks out there keep supporting me. Even small donations help, and I'm really grateful for that. And thank you very much. Have a good time all the time. See you later. Bye.